nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all. It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Alright, it's Monday time for another Midday Monologue. And what I want to do today is another one of our installments of our sub-series, our subcategories here. And this one is about building or starting your board game collection. Now, we've done a few topics already, and I think it's about time to do one of my favorite topics. Not that the others haven't been, I've enjoyed them all. And the ones coming up after this, love them too. It's hard to pick something you love in a whole bunch of things you love. But this category is about board games and comic books. Superheroes. These guys. And their kin and kind. So if you love superheroes, comic books, movies, TV shows, and you like board games, let me give you a few ideas about how you can start a superhero board game collection. Yes, now, the category of superhero board games. Something that the sea was running a little low of for a while, but now there's a nice size collection. And if you're looking to start a board game collection with superhero games, or just looking to add superhero games to your existing collection of games, I have some suggestions for you. Now, I do like to start these off telling you about possible solo, one-player only games and possible two-player head-to-head versions of games, but I couldn't find any. I don't have any. I couldn't remember playing any, so I had no first-hand personal experience, knowledge on these, so there's nothing for me to speak about in those categories. But as far as the competitive games go, I did find something. Born to Serve by Shoot Again Games. This is for 2 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, and should take 60 to 90 minutes. This is a hysterically fun twist on superheroes that goes along the line of more spoofy kind of stuff, like the Legion of Substitute Superheroes. And the lighthearted tongue-in-cheekness of this is very simple. You've lost your funding. None of you have any work, any income, so you and the entire team have to get a job. There's only one job in this small town, and that's a wait person for the local diner. So you're all competing for it. So the game is who can get the most tips. And that person will remain on as the new permanent staff member. So you have to allocate your resources. This is area control. And it's a point collection system. But it has a lot of tactical twists in it as far as managing what you have available. But you're superheroes, so you also have powers to use. Yeah, if you're looking for something lighthearted, something you'll get a little chuckle at, but yet will make you think and cause you to have a deeper sense of strategy than you might expect, check out Born to Serve. Munchkin Marvel and Super Munchkin. Now, these are both competitive superhero games by Steve Jackson Games. They're good for 3 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, and should take about 90, maybe 120 minutes, depending on how cutthroat the end of the game gets. The Munchkin series that these are based on is you have to reach level 10. That's it. Every time you defeat an enemy, you gain a level and some treasure. But there are factors that you can lose levels in, and also you usually need help. And that's what makes these games, like the rest of the Munchkin, so good. Super Munchkin itself is a tongue-in-cheek spoof on superheroes, while the Marvel Munchkin literally uses artwork from Marvel Comics, official artwork. And in these games, you're going to be trying to defeat supervillains. And when you can't, you're going to ask for help, and you will have to usually share something of the reward. But other players may not want you to gain a level, and this is where the backstabbing comes in with this take-that style card game. Because anybody can soup you up, you can soup anybody up, but likewise with the enemy cards. Yes, that 3 or 4 point card could have enough cards stacked on it by the other players to make it a 12 or 25 level adversary. A lot of fun take that with this game. Captain Marvel, Secret Skrulls. This is a game based on the same style of game as Bang, the card game, where one player is Captain Marvel, everyone knows who that player is, and nobody knows who the other players are. Some of them are there to protect Captain Marvel, and others are there to take her down, and sometimes there are ones that want to take everybody down. And nobody knows who is who, and nobody knows who to trust. So the combat around the game becomes strategic in itself. Who is attacking who? And how often and how are they attacking them? Are they attacking them as a ruse to throw me off? Or do I actually believe those continued attacks that that person does not like who they believe that other person is? It's a guessing game to a degree, but it's also a strategy game in figuring it all out. And it's layered and skinned with Marvel, so that makes it fun. Gotham City, strategy game by WizKids for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and should take you 60 to 90 minutes. The lovely twist on this game is nobody is playing the Bat, or Bat Associates, or even Bat Guano. No, you are playing classic Batman villains who are all vying to increase your criminal control over parts and ultimately all of Gotham City. You are playing against each other, villain versus villain. But during the course of the game, during the rounds, the Bat, yes, Batman will appear. He is AI controlled by the game, and he is there to interfere in your schemes. This game plays and runs beautifully and marvelously with the back and forth. If you're a Batman fan, but more so you're a Batman villain fan, yes, yeah, you're going to want to have Gotham City strategy game on your starting superhero shelf. And now cooperative games. There obviously are a ton of cooperative superhero games. Most of them are cooperative because they're superheroes, and that's the nature of it. But which ones stand out? Which ones do I think should be on your shelf if you are starting a superhero board game collection? Sentinels of the Multiverse. This is one of my favorite all-time games. It is one of my favorite all-time superhero games, one of my favorite all-time card games. This is a fixed deck game. There's no deck building, and there's no card chasing down in future expansions. Every expansion that comes out for this game is new set decks with new set heroes and villains and environments. Yes, the environment plays a part in this game. I love it because it so often does in the comic books. And in this game, your team of up to 5 are fighting a massive, major, epic villain. And all the mooks and minions that villain has, along with their powers and everything else in the deck. You are fighting the villain, the environment is fighting anything and everything around it, the villain is fighting you. This game can be a little bit of chaos, but there is so much strategy in using the teamwork between the players. Even though this is an unknown series to you, it's not Marvel or DC or any other comic book company, not Dark Horse, this is a worthy game. You will get used to the new characters, the new heroes, the new villains. You will have your favorites. I don't think you can start a superhero board game shelf without Sentinels of the Multiverse. Chasing on the heels of that concept, we find Marvel Champions, the card game. This is by Fantasy Flight Games, and this is good for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and should run you 45 to 90 minutes. This game takes a lot from Sentinels of the Multiverse. It takes a few things away, it adds a few things. It does feel like a different game, although there's a sense of familiarity about the game itself. But you are using and playing classic Marvel heroes. And you are up against well-known Marvel villains in this game. If you're a Marvel fan, I gotta say that until I see the Ultimate Marvel Miniatures Collection, for right now, this card game is going to give you one of the best sensations of being in the middle of a Marvel story. Thanos Rising, Avengers Infinity War, is another game that's going to really envelop you. You're going to fall right into the theme of this game. This is Thanos versus everyone. This is the movie to a degree. This is the comic series to a degree. But the art style does take from the movies. Thanos and his followers are looking for the Infinity Stones, and once he gets all of them, game is over. It's a wonderful system of building your team up. It's a team building, deck building game, and it's a dice set collection game, because you were not that you have to buy them, but you were going to be using dice that you roll to counteract effects. You're going to be collecting the dice to get allies and to defeat enemies. Oh, and there's a beautiful statue of Thanos in the middle of the board. If you like the movie, if you love the movie, this is the game you're going to want to feel like you are a part of it. Now, if you are looking for a one versus all game to add to your now growing superhero board game collection, there really is just one game I can think of to fill your need and is worthy enough. Marvel Strike Teams. This is by WizKids. For 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, and should take 60 to 90 minutes. Now, in this game, you are going to be using hero clicks as your heroes and villains, and one player will pick a mastermind level villain and get that villain's deck, minions, and everything else that comes. The other players are going to be playing members of the Avengers or other Marvel heroes. This is a tactical combat game. Now, because it uses hero clicks, the miniatures are already fully painted and therefore come alive even more. This feels like a really good combat game, but it feels like an even better Marvel combat game. If you want to feel like you're in the middle of a fist fight, blast fight, psychic fight, Marvel fight, then you are definitely going to want to check out Marvel Strike Teams. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me and spending a little bit of your time with me as I told you about some of the superhero games that I think you should have if you are starting a superhero board game collection. Take care, everyone. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I am out of here.